Hello and welcome to Origin's Tech Tips. Today what I'd like to talk about is to spend a few minutes discussing the two different styles of picking formats that we have. If you go to the setup CheckMate parameters, you'll see at the very top left-hand corner we have two modes for picking. We have the classic picking and we have the easy picking. When you install CheckMate, it defaults to the easy picking mode. But we have these two particular modes for particular reasons. Each one of those does present a specific advantage over the other one. So basically, to sum it up, how they work, the classic picking requires your standard picks, but there's always a last pick required for classic picking. The last pick always includes the surface that you're going to be creating the measurements on. With easy picking, you do not have to make that last pick for the surface that you want to pick on. So there's advantages and disadvantages to that. Let me just go to the classic picking just for a moment, just to show you. Now this is the old style, how CheckMate used to be. That's why we call it our classic picking. And if I select that, what I do if I want to make let's say a surface measurement, I can just go in here and pick a point where I want it to be, and I have to pick the last pick, the surface measurement edge. There you go. Now, for example, maybe even a trim check, same kind of thing. So if I want to do a trim check, I pick a point where I want the measurement to be, which is on the edge, and then the last pick has to be the surface. So I will just pick anywhere on there. If it wasn't shaded, I could even pick a UV line. And of course we get prompted for point, line, or spacing because it doesn't know whether we want to go all the way around, but we just want it at that point, and we'll say OK. And you can see it creates a little trim check on the edge. So we always have to pick a point where we want to pick it, and then the last pick is the surface. If we go back to our defaults and we go and select on easy picking, and I say OK. If we go and create a surface measurement, we pick a point where we want the measurement to be, and we don't have to pick the surface itself where it's going to be. We just go ahead and hit enter, and it creates the measurement. Same with a trim check. Same kind of concept for all, and that works that way for all the measurements. So we pick a point where we want it to be, then we pick a UV line or an edge or something like that. Again, it has to be our last pick. We get the same prompt here. I'll just say point. Okay, so that's the main difference procedure-wise between easy picking and classic picking. Now the main advantage, each one of these methods have their own advantage, and I'm going to explain that right now. If we leave it on easy picking, and for example we go and do a surface point, I can go and do multiple picks. I can even include picks that would be on different surfaces. So you can see I've got these surface measurements now. I've created this one called SP047 over my programming browser, which is all these surface measurements. They're even on different surfaces, on different heights, but they're still properly projected down to the appropriate surface. Now, of course, if I wanted to, I could just, if I didn't like them all connected like that, I can just go in and rename them and go to the rename utility at the bottom, make sure I have explode surface measurements, hit OK, and now I've exploded them into the individual ones. So with the easy picking, because I don't have to pick the last the surface as the last pick, I'm not limited by creating all of my measurements on a single surface. I can go to other surfaces. Now the disadvantage to that is that I cannot create a line of measurements. I cannot create a line of scans. That's the disadvantage. So if I want to do a little scan, let's say from surface points or trims, then I have to go back, and that has to be done with classic picking. So the easy picking is nice because I can go in and pick multiple picks anywhere I want across multiple surfaces because I don't have to make a final pick. classic picking. Again, the advantage to that is I can say measure surface point, and I can say start point, end point, pick my surface, and now I have this option. I have the option to use spacing, which I don't have when I use easy picking, and I can create a little scan. Same with the trims. I can go down here on the edge, go start point, end point, and then just pick anywhere, pick a UV line or pick an edge for my third pick, and I get this option for 2 points or spacing. I can select spacing and hit OK, and then I can get a little scan of trim checks. I can only do these kind of measurements with classic picking mode if I want to do those scans. So easy picking is nice because it's very quick. It saves me time. I don't have to do that final pick on the surface, and I can pick across multiple surfaces for one measurement. However, if I want to do any kind of these little scan type of measurements, I have to go back to classic picking. Thank you very much, and enjoy your day.